Hey, what's up, guys? For Virginia Live Sports, back here for some more NBA talk. So today, Caesars down in Las Vegas, I think it's called Caesars Palace. It's one of those betting places that bets on sports because sports betting is now legal. So, which I think they've actually been doing this for years, where you can place bets on teams, winning however many games. But for this year, 2019, 2020. I have the official list in front of me of what Caesars Palace believes is going to be the NBA win totals for each team. I'm going to do the top 15 teams and then the teams that I believe actually are sleepers. And also in the video, I'm going to be telling you guys about if I agree with this and what I believe actually is going to be the records. So, number one, the Bucks with 57 wins. Uh, I can't say they're wrong. They did lose Malcolm Brogdon and Nikola Mirotic, so I think it's going to be tough for them to replicate their success when they won 60 games last year. But they're still a very good team with Giannis. Excuse me. If Giannis actually gets a jump shot, if he can shoot the three at like what 36%, 35, 36%, maybe even 34%, maybe he can shoot the mid range. I think if he has a mid range game that's elite or a 3 point game that's like really solid, and then an elite mid range game where his jump shot is just butter, then they can legitimately be an excellent team. Next up is the Clippers with 55 and a half wins. I think that's pretty good. I think they'll probably win over 55 games. Just because of how I like the way the team is built behind Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. This is a really great team. Next up, the Philadelphia 76ers with 54 and a half. I'm going to cut it at 54. I think that's just perfect. They're a really good team. My only gripe is I don't really know who what I really like their starting lineup. Ben Simmons, to me, does need to develop. That's everybody's gripe against him, is just he doesn't really have a jump shot. And to me, their depth, which nobody seems to want to really talk about, is to me going to be the issue, because everybody talks about how great the starting lineup is. They're going to be elite. But I don't know why every time everybody talks about the Philadelphia 76ers, nobody wants to mention that they don't have really any great depth behind their starting lineups. So if you really, if you want to check that, people, please do so. Next up, the Utah Jazz with 52 and a half. So I can see the Jazz actually winning 50 games. 52 to me is a bit of a stretch just because the West is really deep. You have a lot of great teams. The East isn't as bad as people think. I think the East is going to make it tough for some West teams because the East has a lot of young, good teams that don't have elite stars on them. That's the problem with the East, is that mostly all the stars are really in the Western Conference, which is why the West is always so tough to compete in. Next up, Nuggets 52 wins. I think the Nuggets can win about 55. I really think this team hasn't been talked about enough. They're really young. They played excellent last year. They actually held the best record in the West for about, I think it was midway through December, and then Golden State usually does this where they start fast, they have a little slump in the middle of before halfway through the season, before halfway through the All-Star break, and then they get really hot. Then the All-Star break, they go in, then they slump, they get hot, and they kind of drag into the playoffs. So they actually had a great lead in the West until Golden State this year got really hot and then won like 11 or 13 straight. So next up, Rockets 52. To me, that's a bit low. I can also see the Rockets actually winning 55 games because as much as I have doubts about this team, I still think they're really good. They're really. I like the way they built their team because they know their strengths and their weaknesses. And if they can continue to play just to their strengths and kind of get their defense back on track, I think they can be exceptional. They can be a really good team this year as well. Lakers at 51 and a half. Now, this is really going to be one of my biggest problems with this list because I said their defense is going to be an issue because we don't know if these guys can really mesh together. But 51 and a half to me is really low. I think they're going to be up there with the Clippers. I think the Clippers and the Lakers can both win, I think, 58 games or more. I That's actually 57 or more because I see a lot of teams can win I said 50 for the Jazz, 55 for the Rockets and Nuggets, but if we're going to be honest, that's going to be tough because all these teams are going to be competing against each other in the same conference. So that's going to be tough. But the Lakers can definitely win 57 or more games, just like the Clippers. Next up, we got the Celtics at 49.5. I think this is really good. This is not too low for me. I think they can win 49 or more. 50 to me, I think above 53 is a bit of a stretch. I'd say they win between 49 and 52 games because to me, they're a top three team in the East. The West is where they're going to really have their trouble, but I think in the East they'll be really good. Okay, then you got the Pacers at 48.5. I like that. They're a really good East team, great defensively. Victor Oladipo will be coming back. I don't know if he's going to be there at the beginning of the season, but he will be really good. Plus, he has Malcolm Brogdon. I do like this team a lot. So, yeah. To me, the most they can win, I think they're a 49 win team. Actually, 46 to 49 wins, nothing above that, though. Next up, Blazers at 47.5. To me, that makes sense. I'd say they win between 47 and 51 games. Really solid team. They really have elite rim protection with Hassan Whiteside. How they're going to shake that out with Yusuf Nurkic coming back and Hassan Whiteside remains to be seen, though. So watch out for that. Brooklyn, that's 47 games. I think that's right on par. I don't see them getting into the 50s because as great as Kyrie Irving is with DeAndre Jordan and this team being young, maybe 50, but you're cutting it close because they are not elite, really. So now, this is probably going to be my biggest problem. The Golden State Warriors at 47, and I think people once again are counting out the help that they really got and the retooling that they did because I think they're really kind of going back to their older style before Kevin Durant got there with just plugging in different pieces with different unique guys. I like the addition of Willie Cauley-Stein, D'Angelo Russell, even Glenn Robinson adds something different. I like Alfonso McKinnon because he's developing. They brought back Kevon Looney. They still got Draymond and Steph. I think this team, it's going to be different, but to me, they're a 50-win team. They're projected to win 47 games and the 7th team in the West. They're definitely, come on now. Like, let's be honest. This is to me, this is going to still be an elite team. Defensively is really, to me, their only question mark. Can they put together consistent defensive possessions with their scoring is going to be the difference. But because to me they're deeper than they were in the past 2 years, they can do that consistently now, and I think people are going to be surprised about that. Next up, Raptors, 45 wins. I love it. 45 wins to 48 because you losing Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard defensively is going to be very tough. And Pascal Siakam's great, but to me that's, he's a young star, so he's still developing. Heat, and then the Spurs. So the Heat are projected to win 43.5. I don't really have a problem with this. The Heat have really been knocking on the door of the playoffs like ever since LeBron left. They've actually been a fringe playoff team. I think they made the playoffs like once or twice since that time, or 3 times. I say the max games they could probably win, I think, is 46. They could be a surprise team, but 43 to 44, I think that works. Spurs also 43.5. I don't see them really as a playoff team because the West, like I said, it's just so stacked, man. Like the West is going to be very tough. That's for sure. Now my surprise teams, the Mavericks, 41 games projected. I think they can win 41 games. They're not a playoff team, but they're still going to be really good because you have Luka Doncic, who can do everything except play defense really at an elite level yet. But I think usually that comes when it comes with just effort. Defense is really effort and then communication. Another team that I really like is the New Orleans Pelicans, 39. I think they could actually win 39 games. Probably, I say the most they win though is 43 games. They're still an underrated team. Next up, the Sacramento Kings. They're projected to win 37 games. I like it too, but I think it's too low. So that means actually I don't like it. I think it's too low. I believe this is a team that could be an 8th seed. I think they could win 45 to 47 games. I think if you win, usually in the West, so you got to win at least 48 plus to get into the playoffs as an 8th seed. So that's going to be tough. Let's keep going. The Atlanta Hawks, they're projected to win 36. I like it. They're to me, they're obviously the record is better than last year. I think they could actually win maybe 39 plus games. I like the talent that they have in Atlanta. That's a really good team. Next up, and I think this is gonna be my last team is the Phoenix Suns. I like this team because I'm a big fan of Devin Booker. I like their center. Uh, what in the flippity flip? I think it's DeAndre. Did I really forget his name? I was just playing NBA 2K last night. I forgot his name already. Wow. I do like their center a lot. He's a great young player. He's only going to be 21. Plus, I do like one of the other shooting guards, Mikal Bridges. I do like Mikal Bridges. He's gonna be a really good player, especially defensively. They did get Ricky Rubio. People are saying that's not a great signing, but to me, defensively, he's very solid. He's a great passer. He's a really solid playmaker. His jump shot is extremely questionable, but this is a young team that's developing. So his 3 or $51 million deal for Ricky Rubio to me is it's not as dramatically bad as people are making it out to be, because that deal is only like what 17 million a year. So I get it, but then again, come on. I know I can get his name. Oh, come on. Now I'm gonna have to figure out another video, guys, because like I have his name on the tip of my tongue. DeAndre Ayton, yes, the center for the Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton. He's a really good player. 7'1", 250. Has excellent size, but defensive consistency to me is really going to be his key, along with Devin Booker, because Devin Booker can score with anybody in this league. That's how talented he is, because he averaged, I think, 26 points per game this year. But defensively is going to be his deal, because he also averaged like over 5 assists. But that's usually, to me, the question with young guys is it's just their defense. But New Orleans, the Kings, the Suns, and the Mavericks are teams to me that are actually better than the record suggests, because 27 games for the Suns is a bit low. And they also brought back Kelly Oubre, who I really like as well. So I think they're going to be a lot. To me, they could win 35 games this year. So, but that was it for the Caesars Palace betting on NBA wins. I told you guys what I thought about the wins. If I'm going to be truly honest, I think the team that's actually going to lead the league in wins and win 60 games is the Clippers. And then behind them, I think it's going to be the Lakers. Those are actually my those are my top 2 teams. I think the Lakers and the Clippers just really, to me, talent-wise and team-wise, are just actually the 2 best teams in the league to me. That's just what I think. So, but that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for listening to me talk about this. It's really fun. Love analyzing stuff in the NBA. So those are the win totals for you guys. You can always check that out. I think that was also from Bleacher Report as well. So I want to thank him for actually providing that. Let me read that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.